Okay. Bad bike, bad bike, bad. Okay, I'm only kidding. It's a good bike, even though I've never ridden it. I'm a yummy boy at heart. Now, what's happening? Okay, months ago, ages ago, we actually got this Barnfind started. Remember, it was all crappy and someone had not worked on it for decades and then left it on a barn, in a barn, I should say. And it actually started. Now, I don't trust a lot of those videos. I don't know how many of those videos where they say, oh, Barnfind first started in 20 years and they turn the key and it goes and starts. I don't think a lot of those are real. I just don't believe it. Unless, of course, they did a lot of work, released enough work such as I did because I removed the carbs, replaced all the inlet manifolds, which were totally FUCKED. And what else? Oh, I like my garden hose. Look at that. Genuine garden hose. See, I was joking on Instagram. But I actually just put these on temporary fix, like a lot of other things in this bike at the moment. There's our battery friend. Have just been put in. And as I said, the whole point of this bike is really just to get it going, to do enough work to get it going. And then have a bit of fun on it for a little while, see how it rides, and then do a frame up rebuild. So it's brand new, like out of the factory. It's not going to be like a Jay Leno one though, because I think I might racify it a bit. It's going to be quite different. Anyway, so what I was saying, yeah, I don't trust a lot, unless they've done enough work. They'd like replace the oils like I did, flush the radiator, flush the water out a few times. You got build up, even flush the oil out using oil flusher and stuff, get the engine going, turning over and all that sort of stuff. Then check all the electricals, of course, like I did, although it didn't work that well, which I'll get to in a moment. So all these electrics, well, they're all the wires, it's the wiring. Someone had literally just dumped this wiring loom on top of the bike. So instead of threading it through all the little places it should be threaded through, someone obviously had the engine out or something, but instead of doing it properly, they just connected it all up again without doing it properly. You can see there's, I put that little wire in there. But they all should, a few of them should be going through there. That's what the holes are for. That little, what would you call it? Stand? Not a stand. You know what I mean. A little holder for the wires. Anyway, so in this case, after I did all that, changed the oils, cleaned up the electrics a little bit, as in I took apart all these connectors, and because in a lot of them there was oxidization, the greeny stuff, the copper was coming out and the white. So I cleaned up all that so that the connections were still all good. I'm not an auto electrician, although I now have a basic idea of an ohm meter. So I ran an ohm meter through most of the things, like the obvious things, like the coil, where it is, there's a little, oops, if I can find it, point to it, can't really see it. But that there is like a starter solenoid, and the starter itself, which is down here somewhere, starter motor, tap, 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 right, fuel pump, and everything worked, right, despite it having weird electrical things, which I did replace that. But anyway, but to the point, then after I did all that, turned it, goes brum, 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 and it actually started going brum, 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 and it sounded really, really good, like this. You certainly smell a lot of fuel. And then it stopped. Well, I stopped it, right? I thought, oh, cool, bike runs. But the next time I went to start it, I went, and there was nothing. There's nothing now because I'm going to connect the battery up. But there was like dead in the water, and then the one little indicator light came on, but nothing else came on, and went around my ohm meter, and it turns out that start blew up almost everything. All these like voltage regulator, that's a second hand one. You know what you got? Not the relays. Fuses were funnily enough okay, but then somebody you put 10 amp fuses and not 30 amp, because that's supposed to be 30 amp. Some whacker put 10 amp, I think it was, 10. Anyway, probably because of that very reason, that everything decided to blow up. Everything like electrical. So, it took me a while being a 30-year-old, but this is 1990, so it's what, 31 years, to find all the bits and pieces, and it took me ages and ages to source because I thought it was this, because this was off, the stop-start switch. I thought it was the ignition. I actually got a new ignition barrel, believe it or not. I put the old one back in because even the new one, that works and this works. Now everything's worked. I'll just put the fuel back in and show you. So the whole point of this rambling is to put this tank back in, connect it up to that. There's a little whizzy thing which sucks all the petrol in, and see if she goes again. I don't know. Let's have a look. But it's not going to be one of those bullshit videos because even if it doesn't start, I'm going to put this video up and it's going to go, look, it didn't work, or it did work, or it took 10 minutes. I don't know. Let's see what happens, eh? That'll be good. Now, the problem, things leaking. The fuel tab, it's leaking like you wouldn't believe so. But this cable, that's the clutch cable, is jammed right up against that. So it doesn't even want to move. So I presume it's designed that way, but it's not designed to be jammed up against it. It's putting pressure all the time on the shaft of the fuel tap, which makes it leak. And in fact, that's another thing we have to do, and that's get either a new fuel tap, or I presume there's something you can get like a kit, like a fuel tap kit. But anyway, let's get the show on the road. Now, note for idiot, the idiot being me, because talking about fuel taps, I have no idea how this one was on reserve or off or on, but I figured it out. So anyway, turn that on. Hopefully no leakies. So far so good. And we'll try the rest. Sorry for the in and out of focus. We'll see if she works. Now, most people, when they start up something that has been started for ages, or they rebuild the motor, they spray a little starter fluid in there, but I don't use starter fluid because that's got ethanol or something, and ethanol like gums up the works, or can do, stick to the needle, the jets, and all that. Or you could just get a little spray, little hand spray thing, and just spray some petrol right in there just to give it a bit of a kickstart. But I haven't got a little spray thing handy, so I'm actually going to pour some petrol right in there. Now, some people are already saying, oh, but you'll flood the carbs or whatever. Now, I don't think you'll flood the carbs. I'll probably just go straight out in the exhaust and be a big backfire. And it just so happens you've got the handy, need that, just in case. You never know. Especially since it's been pissing fuel. So, on with the show. Might be a very fiery show. Alright, so on. Neutral, okay, it's in neutral, soon find out, but it's on a stance, anyway, on, well that doesn't sound good, run. How about a bit of choke, that might help, don't even know if the choke works. Obviously with old bikes there's lots of tricks, it starts like this or it starts like that. I've got no idea how this is going to start. How about that? That's rough. Does turn off. There you go. Goes over. Now I'm going to have to wait for another couple of weeks. It doesn't matter because I have to change the fork seals, have to change the front tyre and balance that. I have to put in this missing thing. There's a back wheel at the back. The bike's got two wheels. And the back wheel was actually missing. Like a bushing, it's like a big washer thing. So I'm going to replace that. All right. So goodies. See you next time.